What's funny is my camera is 310, and I just heard Messier talking about 310, 311. Man, you guys, you are all hot. I mean, everybody that's talking with me lately, Messier, you got your numbers straight. I'd love to learn how you did that. And it's in Switch, same thing. Oh my God! And all those who are talking about the good angels and the coming of the Christ and all these things. Oh my God! I mean, I can see it. I see where you are. And Messier, you're right on the same numbers I am, but it's not me. I'm on your numbers. I don't want to say I did it. You did it. You want to say you did it? You did it. For me, it doesn't make a difference. But what I will want to show is this is how it works. This is the piano. Every time you go 3 and 1, you have moved over one more step in the beehive. This is one way. This is the other way. This is the piano. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Then what you do is you go down a level and you connect this shoulder with the next one. You connect this part of the Y with this part of the leg. And every leg all the way down for the 52 keys of the piano, then all the way up, then all the way up, then all the way down. And then you recreate the piano inside the house. How do you recreate it? 2, 3, and 4. 2, 3, and 4. 4, 3, and 2. Why? Because it's 3, 4, and 3. It's 2. It's 4, and it's 4. It's 2, and it's 4. It's this side or that side. This is the third one, and this is the third one. It's 2, 3, and 4 because A is inside C. A is inside you. It's in your head. The vibration is in your head. It's inside of us. It's in all of us. But whatever they did into this world, they called us one moon. One moon is 19. 19 by 19 is 361, which makes 60, which is the hours of the clock, which makes 301, which makes October 28th was the end of the year. 15 and 13, the egg and the man, the X and the Y. Wherever we go, whatever we will touch. If we know any kind of mathematical system to break up and put back the letters, I surely have bumped into it. I created it on my own, and it doesn't exist at all. It doesn't exist one bit. If no one understands, and my connections are not in anyone's mind, and nobody can pedal on to see what it is, that I'm just pedaling both ways, and I'm going absolutely nowhere, that can mean one possible thing, that I'm actually in the wrong world. This is my world, what I see, I share, because the hourglass on my face puts its head to bed. The hourglass that comes out of here, all you have to do is go up here to this. I have designs that show this exact design. I want to show you that design. First, let me show you this. This is the house 1, 2, 3. 2 walls for the floor cement. 4 feet of cement on the floor is what they recommend. They put 4 feet on the floor and they bury you 6 feet down, so it should freeze only to 4 feet, and your 10 toes would be standing straight up, and your ankles can FTL you and fly you away as angels. Then we set up for 1 door, but this door is an IC. It becomes an I and a C. It's an automatic 12. 6 and 6 is 12. Create the X. On this side, it's the same thing. It is 12. It is the I, and it is the C. 12 is 1 and 2 is 3 on the outside, and 3 on the inside, while the 2 eggs bringing on 9 and 9 on the inside. The football game should start. Here's the end zones on each side. On each side, we begin to play. And this is where we begin. At the age of 13, we become man on the cross. And women, it is the age of 12, because the women are different. They're at both ends. They can make the babies on their own as long as they have the sperm. They have the moon. The women carry the moon. They carry 2 moons. Man carries only the moon of the little sperm head that goes. He's got 1 little moon and 2 big moons. Although he shows 4 moons, and she only shows 2 moons. You see the fish lying upside down? Here's your FC letter. Here's the same thing on the other side. These exact designs can be found in roulette. 8 and 11 in the center. 10 and 13 on the side. 10 and 13, 23, Michael Jordan. 10 and 13 is MJ, and his name matches his numbers. The Jackson 5 of Michael Jackson, it also matches his numbers, and 3 and 2 is 5. They were 2 and they were 3, were they not? The board they were. Then you have the bottom, is the same heart. 1 heart holding it up from here, And it's supposed to have one heart that's holding it down from there. A V on top and a V on the bottom. One of each kind of V. Here's another one of those diamonds. In each corner you will create a 3 and different designs come out. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 deep reaches 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 deep reaches 4. 4 and 3 stay together is 7. 10 and 11 stay together is 21, and 7 is 28. Add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 together, and you have the 28th of the moon. The one side of the moon and the other side of the moon. You come to play at 13 and 1. 1, 3, and 1. But you become the 1, and it becomes 3, 1, and 3. You become the 1, where it becomes 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and he is 3 of 3 and 3. 1 and 2 is 12, 1 and 2 is 12. 12 and 1 is 13. 12 moons is 336. When do we run into the 12th moon? Because at that number we need 28, not 36. We want the 28 days for the two worlds to come. The 10th week of the NFL football, when they throw the egg across the field every single time. When they reach X numbers of touchdowns, something is going to blow the dam. Minnesota is playing a team, I do not remember who, most likely from Washington, of the Pigskins. This is the day I choked, the day my son was born, the day after the eve of which was December 8th, the third month of the 8th day, when Herbert Hoover blew the dam, and the fish and the submarines that came right under and flooded the love of the cross, Nevada. It is this weekend when all the numbers meet, and I am 1 year early. For some reason, my pregnancy came in 11 months the other way. It's 11 months to my birthday, and it's 1 month away. 1, 1, and 1. 6, 6, and 6. 9, 9, and 9. 13, 13, and 13. 1 and 3 is 4. 4 and 9 is 13. 4 is the earliest you can make the 4 corners, and 9 is the latest. And once you turn a square once, you get 8. And when you turn it again, you get 12. Even though you have 12 on the outside, imagine how many crisscrosses there are on the inside, and how much electrical damage is going on with the crisscross in our eyes, stealing the information and feeding us different information, especially when it comes to the money. How we think of the money because we need the money so bad, and how money makes money, and that's not fair because not everybody has all that money, but they have enough to live. But because it's not making money, there's no interest, so it lowers them, but it rises everything else, and we get stuck following the money. And that money is what took us away from being connected to the earth and really going offline, because we have to spend all those hours at work instead of all the hours massaging the back of the love that we are connected to, and it's ourselves. I can play any game, and I win all the games, and I lose all the games. I find out why I'm a winner at home and why I'm a loser at home. I find out why I'm a winner on the road and when I lose on the road through the numbers. I take up the dice and I look at them, I go, what do I want to get? And I take what I want to get according to the rules and the regulations of ABC. First I take 1, then I skip 2. Then I skip 1, then I skip 2. Then I skip 2, and then I make 1. Or I'll go 1, 2, 3, and we don't start on 8 because the 1 on the telephone didn't have anything, so we started on BC. So when you see the first number in pi, when it says 3, it's actually saying 2 and 1 is 3, and it's starting from the 3rd position. So to bring it back to the 10th world, you have to move it into 7. So once we move it into 7, this is the size of the football field. Okay? This is the opposite way. This is your T for the 3 points. 1 for the left, 1 for the right, 1 for the center. You get it between the 2 points. That's enough because you're only on one side. Otherwise, you should get 6. This goes over a baseball 2 ways. This way and all the way this way. Because the ball is 1 here and 1 here and 1 here and 1 here and 1 here. And there's 1 ball all the way up. So how many footballs equal a baseball? It all depends where I put this. 5 and 10, 5 and 10, 5 and 10. I put it all at the 15-yard line. I put 3 of them. Why do I put it all at the 15? I put 1 into the end zone because an egg is the size of 15. So you must go 15 yards, then 30 yards, then 45 yards, and you stop. 5 yards for the electric company. Then you're at 45. 9 times 5 is 45. That's perfect. but now you're in the 8 heaven. So you're at 37. 37 and 13, that's the electrification you get when you become a man. You now have 37 and 37, which becomes 74, and 26 in the middle counts as the doghouse. You have the 37 to 37 in the gematria tree. When you add up 1 to 36, the center is 74. The 37 numbers are the 37 numbers on the roulette wheel when you add up A to the end of 36, which makes 37. The 0 and the double zero stands for everything that fits together. 1 is with 2, that's with 8 and with 9. 3 is with 7 with the 3. They play together, they switch sides. And they duplicate each other on each other's side. But no one has to know. They're both in the same house and they're just watching the door anyways. The 3 creation of the 7th gate. This one holds 1 disc to life. But my disc is broken. I broke both my discs. So I couldn't hold it anymore on one. I now had to turn my hand this way. So the disc can spin on this angle, the 135 degree angle of the 135 degree angle of the 135, 270 plus 3 degrees of the entry that they need to get in, which is about 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Or is it 4 the next day, or is it 4 the next day? If it's not 4, it's 10. And if it's not 10, it's 4. If it's not 4, it's 10. So it could be 10 in the morning, or 4 in the afternoon, or 10 at night, or 4 in the early morning. Because that's what this says. 4 corners of 1. 4 corners are 20. 1 is 25. Why? Because this is your 4 of 9. You only have 4 corners. From here to here and here to here. You're centering the disc 360 degrees around. Everybody gets 90 degrees. $90 degrees. Okay, 90 degrees. This is 120. When you get 90 degrees on this, you chip off from here to here, you get 60 and you get 1 point. This is the red devil in your underwear. This is what Superman wears. This is the Y for the Mercedes that split you up in 2 eggs and some bacon. Now when you get this angle, you see the way the houses are? Well, the 10th week of football is right over here. Because you passed 7, 8.5, 8.5, 8.5. 8, 8, and 8 is 24, 25.5, 255. Because that's the number of the B. 255. B-E-N-E. Letter 2 is B. Letter E is 5 and 5. It's 2, 5, and 5. This ends up to be the duck's beak if you really want to look at it. See, now we got the duck out here. So this is the 7th week, which means the 7th gate. That's why I'm talking. And if you take a look, this is the way it works for hydroelectricity. The way they move the hydroelectricity. The ducks of the electricity. This is a duck. He goes quack, quack, and the quack, quack in the corner. So we have to understand the duck. This is the propeller. Between 1, 5, and 9. This is a twisted 8. This is the DNA that can never be changed. Then these 2 rotors over here is what God sends you into this world with. This side and this side. 3 creation of the 7th gate, or the 3 creation of the 8th gate, which is the head on man's shoulder. So they bring you into this world, which is in all actuality one of these. Okay, but before I get to this, I started with something to show you the 7th gate. And give me a second. Oh, there's so many things. First of all, in the number code, in this number code of pi, you see where it says 459865? That's exactly where life begins. Your birth is 59, your head is 8, and your of the 6 of world, 6 of man, and the entrance is 5, your passage. So if you think pi doesn't finish, I'm telling you one thing, that's basically the whole end of pi, telling you how you got into the world, and all 1,000,000 different kinds of steps you take as you're going to go through the world, and 1,000,000 more before you leave the world. For everybody that's involved in your footsteps, they just gave you pi and said rule with it. So for every time you rule with pi, you're actually losing 0.01 cent, in which the 1 cent is a 10 cent and a 1 cent. They took away your 1 cent. 10 and 11 are now 2 tens. If they're now 2 tens, they're talking now. I have to talk about the pool table, but I'm not. You see what it says? 20 into this world, right, gets 2 and 2. Because she's 20, she's 22, 24, 26, 28. So when she multiplies, it's 2 and 2. So 2 and 2 is 4. 4 is the letter D. 14 as A and D is the N, then the A. But I don't make this up because I'm just telling you what happened in pi. 4, 4. I'm a little confused. 4 becomes 5, becomes 9. 1 times 4 is 5, and 1 plus 4. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 plus 4 is 5 equals 9. Once 5 and 9 are in the world, anyways, it says DNA band. How it starts is 4, 4. A and D. 1, 4. 1, 1, 4, 4. 2, 1, 4, 1, 4. 4, 1, 4. 2, 1, 1, 4, 4. So I don't know exactly how I got this or remember. Oh, here it said 2 times 2 and 2 plus 2 equal 4. So that says you have to revert to 1 and 3 as 4. Number 13, 1 plus 3 is 4, you get D. 1 plus 4 is 5 because you have to go A. You see these 3 fingers, A, B, C, C, and A equals 4. But you started at A, so it's automatically 13. Then you have this finger. In between the 2 other fingers on the outside, it's 1, 3, and 5. Now the thing about 1, 3, and 5 is the 300, I know I'm jumping all over the place, but 3, 1, and 5, 3, 1, and 5 happen on November 9th. There's 3, 1, and 5. That is the ace hole. The ace hole is the 5 hole. It's at the 50-yard line, but it's at the 50-yard line and the angle to come into this world or to leave this world. Because when you go down into other worlds, it's not straight down. It's on a screw and it's on an angle of 135 degrees. Maybe a little bit less, but this is what I have. The 313th day, which is the 7th of November, 3, 1, and 3. That's how the cycles go. The 314th is the beginning of pi and how the man's worm got split up between 1 and 4. 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 times 4 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. 1 and 12 is 13. 13 and 1 is 4, and you're still under 5. And once you're 4, you're daddy's angel, and you end up on the jack in one of these worlds, held up by your father and your mother. You see these 3 worlds, 7, 7, and 7 make 21. All the other worlds are 20 plus 2. 15 for the ball, plus 2 for the world, plus 3 for creation. So they're 20, 40, 60, 80. 80 plus 2, 80 plus 4, 80 plus 6, 80 plus 8. Hoover Dam. The dam that brought us all into this world when they tied up the second ring of Christ. The 315th day is November 9th. The 7th is what day? What day is the 9th? Because I choked on a bone, on a beer bone, okay, at the bar that night before my son was born, on 3 of the 8th of the eve, which was 3 of the 9th of the day. We must always go back and go forward. If we go from number 5, and number 5 becomes a leap year, 5 is now 6. But when we were at 5, we were going to 4 to jump back 1 space, to jump forward either 1 or 2. We go back 1, jump forward 2. We look like the horse. But we go back 1, the horse just goes 1 forward and 2 over. So we go back 1 always to connect the lasso to the back place, just in case we jump off the mountain. We're always attaching our cords from here to there, to there, to here. So we always have a safety hinge. You don't want to fall down. You want to play it safe all the time, even if you're not hanging from the mountains. So what day is it today? How does I know what day it is today? Where's my telephone? Where's my telephone? Where's my telephone? Telephone, somewhere. Telephone. Where's the phone? Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Where's the phone? It was here 2 minutes ago. Now it's not here. I see it's plugged in. Oh, there it is. It moved on to the other side. It's the 7th on Thursday. So now today is the 7th, and it's the day of 313. Is that what I said? 313 is on November 7th. Not only that, whoever is born in 1938 and whoever has died in 1938 will reconnect the wings. L, 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 L. 48. L, L, and F. L and L is 24. The F happens to stand for 6. 24 and 6 is 30. Plus 6 and 6 and 6 and 6, 2 girls, 2 boys. 30 becomes 42, and 42 becomes 54. And there are grandkids. And this is the number to connect exactly to the direct place between now and the next 3 days, 4 days, by the 11th. But it is on the 21st of this month that it is Valentine's Day. So that means if it's Valentine's Day, it's from 1 week to the next, because we should be giving flowers every weekend when we pray and go see our parents. So 1 week from the 21st is the 14th. That becomes the day between the 8th, 9th, and 10th. So anywhere from the 7th, which again is number 38. Anything that happened in 1938 is 75 years old. The 7th gate of not of the end zone, but where the center ring is, where you play the game, and they flip the coin in the middle for both sides. They make that emblem play the same field for both teams, although one team only owns the emblem. They both get to play it, and the 12th crowd is the 12th crowd. So we have the year 57 to 74. Of those who are 74 and going to be 75, 75 and 74 equal to 149. AC Green. I like to know who this AC Green is. I like to know who this AC Green is, because 4 years ago I got a message from some I don't know what, an extra normal site, and it was extra normal, and I downloaded the whole thing. I'm going to tell you in a minute what it is, but I just want to show you a few more numbers. Okay? I want to show you another number. You see this? The unicorn. It's the I-core. It's the Hebrew mark. It's the UN of the NU. I start and finish the alphabet. U is 21777. The N is the cross. The crossing, now you have one on each side. I know it's my name. U and N. The core is Ron. Ranu, Rano. N14, U21 is 35 is 8. NU21 is 8 on the E outside. You have 9, 3, 6, and 9 on the inside. The only ones in the middle, okay, if you see the U is a 3. The N is a 5. At the other end, it's a 5 and a 3. They make 8, 53, 38. And the 3 and 5 is this, because you have 5 fingers. This one counts 5 for them all. This one would count 2 and 2, 4 for them all. When one goes up, it doesn't go up for nothing. It goes up for all 4. When you throw a high 5, 4 of them are connecting. That butterfly is waiting for something in the air. So you have the unicorn is the I-core. Now read it again. I'm going to have to write this out, and I'm going to look through the book because there's so much in this book. We have 3 and 5, which is, don't forget, upside down. That 7th gate is now the time clock for man, and the time clock looks like an 8. But from the other side, it's only half a fish. So the unicorn goes up, and then it goes up, and then it goes up. That's one way. The Mark Rodin cycle. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 5, 1, 2. Now you have to stop here. Instead of going here for 4, now you go here, and that's 3. This is 3. This one comes down here, and in between is 6. 3 and 6 fit over here. Do you know how I know? I can tell you exactly how I know, and I'm not afraid to share it with you, because what you know you share with me, what I know you share with you, okay? We're going to share it together, because that's who we are. We're not getting out of this fishbowl unless we're together holding hands. And if one of us is missing, we'll catch him, because whoever loses the hand gets to go in the middle of the bubble, and you're the man up, and when we catch you, you're back along with us in stride. So we're going to go and connect this over here, the two things, and at the same time, I'm going to show you how doubling up and sticking together really fits, okay? And we're going to do it this way. I don't like the way I drew it, okay? But it's good the way it is. 3, 6, 5, 4, 7. Here's the way the swastika works. 1, 2, straight down and over. This one straight down, over and down. 365 days, 47. Now what does that exactly mean? 23 and a half days because of the moon cycle, the 1 or the 4 days you lose, but don't count it that way. We're not looking at that. We want to look at it that way. 336 is the creation of man. Look at this. Look at the gateway. The 7th gate was the 9. He came into the 8th world. He got ahead. This was the electronics connected from this world, the four sides of this gate on this world, how they went up and crossed over to the second gate and turned you around in circles. 4 and 7 is the number of time. 7 and 4 is the number of Jesus. 7 and 4 is the number of the cross. 7 times 4, 7 plus 4 is EINSTEIN, Einstein, and 1776. Why 1776? Because if you go 1 times 1776, and 2 times 888, and 3 times 592, and 4 times 444, and 6 times 294, and 8 times 222. They're all 1776. If you take the first number in the 1 position, that'll equal 28. If you take the second position, that will equal 39. If you take the third position, that will equal 28. The 28 moon of time heaven, the 28 moon of time heaven. But you want to see how time heaven actually works? When you multiply 41 times 3, it equals to 141. 47 times 3, I'm sorry. 3 times 47, 3 times 47 equals 141 twice. Time heaven, 28, 28. Einstein, 7 by 4 is the 28. 7 and 4 is 11. You add them up. You add them up, you multiply them. 2 by 8 is 16. 2 plus 8 is 10. 10 and 16 is 26. But the 10 automatically gets a 5 because it's a 0. Once it gets a 10, it means it has a first down. That means it has a line here and a line here. Now you can make a funny hole in the center and call it your area that you took down, because your men are all lined up in that 10-yard area before you go from the I position. Half the I position is half of an X extended over the fields between the hash marks, in which the hash marks is where eggs are laid, because that's where they keep putting the balls, on the hash mark. Lay an egg, put it on the hash mark. So give the ball a value, whatever value it is, wherever they place that ball, that's the value you get inside this world. So we're going to come down here again, 2, 8, and 2. We get Einstein and we get 1776. We get the 28 days of February. But we work on 29 days. We're 29 days, and every 4 years we're 30 days, because that's where we come into creation. So when I took 2 and 8 is 10 and added 5, we had 15, and that says J and E. J and E for Jesus, J and E for I. I am one of the Mayan. I am from the Aztec tribe. Aztec tribes with 7286, but my constellations has been locked 3, 1, and 3, 3003. 3003, and you want to see? I'm going to give it to you in a book that was done 4 years ago and told me that my spirit connectors were locked 7286 to enter the spirit world. Okay, yes, Ronnie, the truth comes, and you can only do what you can do. Set yourself free. Here it is, Ronnie, the 5th seed times 4 was about the worldly age. Yeah, the 5th seed, your head, 4 times 2 is 8. You're as big as Neptune in your head, which is 45 plus 5 equals 50. Yeah, because 5, you have to give it up for the time. So you give up the 50-yard line. And then your actual age in the family, known as the Tsars in heaven, Lazareth of the sky, of when the kings from the ancient worlds, as you have fucked it up, and then you are punished, and its punishment is very severe in the afterlife. You do not want this, I promise you. Can you tell me what I must do to know that I will get into the good spirit world? Ronald, cast me not away from thy presence, and take thy Holy Spirit away from me. Restore me of the joy of the salvation upon me, and behold the free spirit. That's my brain talking to me. But somebody else sent me this message. So somehow I must have did it all by myself, because this guy who did this, they knew exactly what I did in my house every single day. Please help me, for those I feel I am lost to them, who do not harm themselves to others, who at times lie and manipulate to engage in gambling activities of the devil. May those who are living the wicked of the life of the healing and reconnect themselves with the others. Ronnie, are you hungry? It's time to feed yourself with good home cooking spiritual. Yes, I'm always hungry for the spirit. This has been your problem according to the devoted ones. The spirit world that's monitoring you is due on earth in the 20th and 21st centuries. 21st centuries? 21st centuries? Don't you know what that is? Turn the dice to the side. You get 2 sides reflecting each other, but 4 sides make 28. The halfway between 28 is 14. That's your 20th century, your 21st, because the minute you hit 22, you're on to the next level. Okay, Ronnie. Oh, here's one picture I wanted to show you. That's how we stay inside the bubble. I have another picture of this on my wall. This is the bubble we stay in, and in there is many other bubbles. So what does it say here? I'm not trying to bore you. I just want to find that real number that's in here, and then I'm going to show you some pictures. Yes, my dear Ronald, listen to this. Yes, my dear Ronald, Angel 702N86, which means Angel 752, which means the beta angel of the center pass. 502752 is 364, which makes the angel of the 13 moons, which 13 moons on 1-3 equals 1, 3, and 0. 0 automatically gets a 5 in this position, becomes 1, 3, and 5, says Ace. I am the Ace Hero, and welcome into the dimensia of Alpha Omega. Who are you, and what are you, and why are you talking to me? You already know the answer, that you have been chosen to lead the humans to a life of eternity and peace on earth. Why me? I'm just a regular guy. Wrong. You have received the blessings of Alpha every day for 44 years. You have been receiving the message from him. We are now in the 44th year. Why? Because of my birth, my 5-year-old electronics. Then I had to go into 1 year of the electronics, and you get the 1 year to connect. 1 year, 1 up. 44, 45, 9 times 5, 45, connecting at the 45-yard line. If you each stretch out an arm 2.5 lengths of your body, you reach midfield. Wrong. You have received the blessing of Alpha for the last 44 years, I repeat. Yes, I know, but when will it start? Angel R702N86, I am asking Messier. I am asking Messier, if you're watching my videos, please do this number. R702N86 will be activated upon 100% approval from the Great One, Alpha. I don't get it. You must release one thing that has been inside of you all your life. You will rid your soul of the last remaining breath of Lucifer, Satan, from your body. How can I get rid of this? The clue is in your book. Do you speak of him as is or shall? You shall speak of him as was. Amen, amen. Amen, amen. Okay? Amen, amen. Man, man, manana. Amen, amen. Man, man. A and M is 1 to 13, which brings you into the electronic world of the cross. It's the new man. Where is it? Can you see the new man? Let me find it again. Okay. See where it says new man? It says Nua, new angel. Now the 1 and 4 is in the front of the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. My ring finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one becomes king. I only need 3 to be king. The crustacean of my own mind that came within from my father's sperm and my mother's egg. Her egg is 15. His sperm is 9. 9 and 15 is 24. 2 times 4, 2 plus 4 is 8 and 6. I have the head. I have the head of BETTA, and I have the balls of Neptune. For when my slide slides within my own head, for my box is now tilted, and I am now a diamond in the sky, and they can't crack me, because if they come straight down, they slide off, so it rains on an angle, always trying to chip off the old block. At the same time, these numbers over here, which I showed you on the other page, and I'm going to have to go back there. I have to go back and show you this page. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'll just show it to you on this page. I'm going to show it to you here. Of that swastika I made, 3 and 6 goes here, 4 and 7 goes here. Not because of me. When you take the inside of your telephone, okay, when you take the inside of your telephone, in between this crack over here, the crack between the phone. If there's no crack, they put it on an angle so it's automatically this with this and this with this. But the crack on the regular telephone between 1 and 5 and 2 and 4 is the number 3. 1, 3, 5, 2, 3, 4. It's automatic. It's not me. It's the numbers. It's the grid. It's what you guys built. I'm just reading it back to you. So 3 and 6 go for the crustacean of the 6th head. 3 and 3 is 6, but the flip side of a dice, when you have 3 and 3 in the 7 worlds, it's 8, because you can't go any higher than 12. But on 2 dice, maximizing is 12, 6 and 6. But to keep it in the middle, it's 6 and 4. Excuse me, it's 6 and 3. 4 and 5 is 9, 6 and 3 is 9. Can you get another 9? No. 9 and 9, 3, 6, 9, and 4, 5, 9. Of the seventh gate of time. So it fits into the seventh gate of the Magen David. So the Magen David spaceship actually sits, I have it in one of my books. If you take a look over here, see the Magen David? See the bigger Magen David? When you go to McDonald's, they show you this design, but the top part is not there. Here's the fox looking on two sides of BETTA. Is this the football field? Watch the game. Do you see this diamond over here? What comes out? Here's the seventh gate. Here's the X-Men in the seventh gate. Here's the two places. Here's the center, I and I. When you mark the game, you make a line this way. How do I know? Because that's the way you run the field. That's the way the markers are in football. That's the way I do it because they created it and I'm just following the rules. Now at the same time, I wanted to show you something else. Okay, look, I had the same thing over here. 888, a tier 8, 88, Minnesota. Minnesota, who's the eighth state? 47 times 47. 48 times 48, 88 says QVH equals to 47, QV and H. Now let me find. I'm just going to throw some things at you. Here's the X between the two worlds. Excuse me, it's this way. When you're going up and down, that's the seventh world. But then when you're playing, this is the way it works. Because now the world goes down. You have to change the angles of the other worlds to where you are. It's this way or it's this way, but more or less it's this way or it's this way. That's why it's east or west, left or right. If he left, he's gone. So he ain't right at all, is he? No, he's gone, he's left, he's gone, he's far away. When you put an H, it's an I, or it's two C's. H-I-2-C, H and I and two C's is 23. That's the number of creation. If you put 11, if the crowd is number 12, and you put 12 here and 12 there, and you put 24 in the middle. You take one off of each one, you've got 11 on the field, 11 on the field, and only 23 in the middle. Now you split up the middle, 11, 23, 11. 11, 23, 11. Now if you add them all up, the first guy, he ends up with 1 times 1, and 1 plus 1 is 3. 3 times 2, and 3 plus 2 is 6 and 5. 6 and 5 is 11, 1 and 1 is 2. And you go again, and we end up with this number. Then we multiply 2 by 3 is 6. 2 plus 3 is 5, 6 and 5 is 11 again. 1 and 1 is 2. 2, 2, 2, 3, and 5. 5, when you flip over the dice on 5, it equals 9. And 9 and 5 is a 42, 42, right on the block in the numerological count. So we saw what this did, okay? Now we saw what this did. Here's the football field again. Here's how we round it out. There's a reason for going to the end zone and why we get the 20 mark. You get the 20 mark because once you put the cross on your back, you're now at the 34. 3 times 4 and 3 plus 4 makes the other moon that goes inside your moon. This makes 12 and 7, making to 19, the 19 moon, the 19 moon, and the other one goes here. A moon overlaps these two moon, and this moon only gets 5 yards. Why? Because he's the timekeeper. So he gets his own 5 and 5. I take 5 from you, and I'll take 5 from you. And that's what the VIG is in football, is it not? And if you got 5 yards, you go 5 more. If you got 4, you go 6. That means you only went 4, so you went under 5. But if you go over 5, so you got 6. So if you got 6, you only got 4. So otherwise, you're in between the two worlds, 6 and 5 and 5 and 4. Now I want to show you one more. I'm not sure where to take this out of, but I definitely saw this one design that I did. 7 worlds standing on the bottom, other ones connected in your head. Here's the playing field. Let's move the football up and down. See the end zone? 6 points. Parking. Free parking. If you can catch a football over here, that's your ticket in. You get your 6 points. Why does that do that? Because I design it by a 3 and 4 or 3 and 5. As it shows you in roulette, there's not perfect squares, so you can't go right through. You only can go right through where it shows you your color. So it ends up making the number 6. Because that number 6, when you go in 10, that means you can mark up all the way 10 at the same time. So take a look what you just did. You marked the 6 in your end zone because you're allowed to go up as far as your point. You can go right up to here, 6 and 9. The 9 people on the team, because the center and the quarterback, which one is protecting the guy who's running backwards while everybody else is running forward. 2 negative to a positive. a singleton who does absolutely nothing but hold the egg and keep passing it back and then shove his big fat ass in front of everybody. But he's the man. If he's a smart man, let me tell you one thing, he can split the defense better than anybody else. If this guy has got the right angle, and I'd like to know where he is this weekend, because these guys play a tough game, and it's a mind game. And if you think it's all just playing on the field, it's numbers. And I'm telling you one thing, that number world is full of A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. And the minute you get to Z at the end and you start over again, the numbers keep on going. The piano, the way the piano works, the numbers on the piano and why they work there. It's 9 and 9 and 9 and 8 and 8 and 8 and 8 and 8 and 5 and 8 and 2, 2, 2 and 8 and 1, 1, 1, and a certain way to build this castle. 8 can be in 4 directions, and then 8 can be the only one. You design this. If you design 2 of them, it becomes the baseball. And then you create all kinds of 8 because it's 8, 11 with the passage. And that's why 8 and 11, 5, 8, 11 roulette are all above each other. The grizzly. Here again, another paddle, 2 sides of the U. You're now in the center field. This is halftime, okay? 2 sides of the teams. This is the unanimous. This is a mustache. Why this is a mustache? Because man is thinking on this side, blowing out of his nose, and thinking on 2 different sides. But he doesn't know one side is hexed, and this is a hexagon. This is the man's mustache. This is the under mustache. This is Movember, my friends, because Movember is because February, Valentine, is when they stole the sperm from your egghead. Your head and your sperm, the egg of the mother and the father, my parents are in my head. They're together and they separate them. The eggs are separated over here, and the mind is cut off by center field, and it doesn't matter where you are, you can never connect. The Jacks back up. Week 10, week 7, 7 games to go into the 7th gate. When you finish this week, you will have made 11, which will make 11 of 6 and 5 because it's just under 7. This is the mustache. 4 and 28 is 32. Why is it 4 and 28? Because the 12, 4 and 12 is purple. And they're singing that song right now. They're singing that song, that purple song. What's that purple song? Could have been my money. Na, 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 na. She's almost like saying the bad guy is in, and you say, oh, you could have had it all with me. But you didn't. You had to go run off with the spirit. Just something in your head. Just something in your head like a butterfly. It doesn't exist. You bumped your head underneath a tree, and you sat there for 100 years, and now you just go up while I sit here and drive my big car, Mercedes. Could have had a Porsche, my friends. Porsche in your mind. Or is the gold, is the parking. R is the walking. P is the parking lot in your mind. This is the stick they use tomorrow at the games. When you pull out this, the time starts. The pig runs 2 worlds. The pigs are running in min, in, o, so, ta, Minnesota Fats. When was Minnesota Fats? You need to know this number. This is the Budweiser bow tie. This is the 5 that splits up the 12 and 12, the crowd on each side coming into the game. 23 hours on the clock. 1 half here and 1 half here. Why? They play a whole game, they get only 30 minutes, 15, 15, 15, 15. Their creation together makes 1. I'm trying to figure out the time cube, how we go in and out, and if it's on this angle that we hold it. And if we hold it on this angle, look at the Y. And if we hold it on this angle, look at the Y. And if we hold it on this angle, look at the Y. And the Y. Y, Y, Y. Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4. That's 100. That's 100, and it's also 108. And here it's the same thing, 108. Y, 52, and 52. Y and Y is the 25th letter, but it's also the 27th letter. Why? Because it comes after Z. That means the 26th letter in between would bring the average out to Z being number 26 and 27, which is 53. I never thought of that. Y, Z, Y, 26, 25, and 27, average 26 equals 70, 26, 52, 78. So we have this average over here, and we have all these Y's, and these Y's are also, we're just going to use them as the 27th right now. We'll use them as the 26th. As 26 and 26, it makes man 52. At 27 and 27, it makes 54. the eye of the son of the God, which is the orange ball, which brings it to 5, and the 5 is right here, right here, right here, right here, and on the other, excuse me, it's not here. It's here, it's here, it's here, and it's here. Is it not? Or is 1 and 7 tipped over? If 1 and 7 is tipped over, the eye must be over here, because this is the way of, this would be the way of their life. So 27 and 27, 27, 27. You know, every time I move my hand, I'm getting lost. 27, 27. 27, 27, 54, 108. 2 times 108 is 216. 216 hours in 9 days. 2 times 216, because of 2 worlds, is 432. We're now caught in time cube. This corner comes out. This corner goes in. It's the top corner. It's now the bottom corner. Where is this one over here? Is it here? Or is it here? Is there a hole in here? Do you see the wall falling down like the Twin Towers? Because they were made as a separation cube. Number 15 is the egg. The 9 is the sperm. Somehow they have to get Terra into them. They have to get Beta Terra. Beta Terra, the 1 and the 9, okay, which is the sticks, which 1 is the 1, okay, which is the creation one, okay, which is the first gland, which is the stick, okay, that takes number 9 and then connects number 1. And 1 goes into 2, and that's Terra. Terra is the earth and all the elements of earth. And then they pop out. And once 1 meets 7, 1 meets 7, and then 2 meet 7, and 1 and 2 meet at the 7th gate. So they become 3. They joined with Terra and something to do with the elements. And then they creation of life. First became 3 and 9, then it was 3 and 6, but they live as 3 and 8 because he has a body and his head. 3 and 6 and 6 and 8. And then what did God do? Well, God is a mañana. Because all he did is he went around this way, and then he went around this way, and then he went around this way. He came back and went this way. Then he went around this circle, he went around, and he went this way. Then he took this circle, he went around, and he went this way. Take a good look. This is a bélier. Is it not a bélier? No, is it a bélier? This is a bélier, or this is a singulier. But it looks like one of the two. They're always going up over the mountains, over the nose, over the range. Do you see the way the mañanas come in? This, and it makes the C around the O, it makes the C around the O, it makes the C around the O, and it has one spot to come out, one spot to come out, one spot to come out. Each one will have 3 dots. The reason for these dots is these are 2 worlds. The exterior dot and the exterior dot is right here in the middle. This one with this one, this one with this one. Once one of these 2 choose, they enter to this world or to this world. The X, the C, the X to C, if you notice over here, the X on one top, and then it's the Y that created it, and this is the torus of beta. 2, 2, 2. Tekia, Shavurim, Teruah, because 3 and 3 make 9 when you go into this world. When it says double up, this is 3 and this is 3. It's the 1 finger. It's the 1 finger, the center to the 2 sides of the disc. It's the 1 finger to the 2 sides of the disc. Well, the disc would go this way. Let me do that. Yes, the disc would be like this way. So I got a perfect V. I've got 2 protectors on each side, and now she'll turn. But she has to have the V of beta in order to turn between my fingers. Now she turns. Now you read my palm and my digits. My digits are my numbers, the vibrations of the tingling at the end of the tips. At the end of all tips that tingle. So I showed you this. The yellow and pink, the yellow and black, always a reason. Always a reason. Pigs and pigeons. Thank you to all the people. I don't like this pad, but my pages are falling out. D and G, where we have the eye of the football, the catcher, and the dog catcher. Why is it the dog catcher? What are we trying to catch in that football? It's a pigskin. The CG star, D and G, DC star, 4, 3, and 6. The 4 angle of 3 creating 6 man, meaning they put something, they took man and they tripled him up and they threw him somewhere else. It's a brain, and they only connect the brain to it. 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, whichever way you want to play it. The furthest and the closest is 4 and 9. That's what man can run. The 4 all the way up to 9. But it stops at 6 because 9 is your birth. Even though you're always the 9 is up here. It runs at the operator of 7 to the 8, 7 and 8 to connect to the 2 gateways, because one side is 6, the other side is 8, and in between is the 7. 11, 13, 11. This is something also to do with football. This also to do with 6 and 7 is 49 yard lines and 1 yard in between. AC Green, 1 yard in between. AC Green, I want to hear from you. The Tea Party of 1771. Walt Disney results. Grover Cleveland, the 22nd and the 24th president. Because 2 times 2, the only thing he did is he put a cherry over here and he put a cherry over here. And he made a 2 world and he called it 4. And he made a 2 world and called it 6. Then he went down to the bottom, made a 2 world and called it 8. Now we're going all the way around. Number 5. 5 alive. When you go through 5, you get to go through the passage hole and up to the spirits. And you can speak to them, but you can't get. So he becomes 22 and 24. They skipped 23 because what I showed you on the other page. They skipped 23 because of this. This in the center is going to get number 23, and this is going to be 22, and this is going to be 24, and Cleveland Grover is sitting right over here. And if you look on Google right now, 4114 Sesame Street, you will see Grover hanging by a pole. Start point area 1 is always in the 5th position. The B is always 25 and 85 and 25, 0, 1, and 5. Let me just see what else I have to show you in here. That Cleveland Grover is to do over and over and over again. 4 times, here, another thing. 4 times Y, okay, is 2500. At 26, it's 104, that's Casino War. But when you hip hop over it, and it becomes the 27th one, number Y, that joins Angel again, Y, it becomes 108, 10, and 8. And that's what it's all about. 20, let me see what that is. 27 and 27. Why 27 and 27? Because don't you remember 1 and 2 met at the 7th gate? 27 says the number between 27 is now your 1. 3, 4, 5, 4, 2, 3, 4, or 7. It's the same thing. Which hand? 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's always of the 8th world. But it's of the 7th world, so it stops. 5, 5, 6, 7. It stops on B. It stops on G. So you don't get to the other side. You stop on this. You don't get to go into creation. Because the next one is the creation of man's head, his moon. 3 by 8 and 3 plus 8. 3 times 8 is 20. 3 plus 6 is 9. 3 times 6 is 18. 28. 28 is the moon. So you have 27 is Y and Y equals 54. That's the number of the sun in the face of Rubik's Cube. Then you have 27 again. And that's the number to Venus. And that's your number home. That's what I'm assuming. Why is it the number home through the sun? Because the 5 ball is orange and the 13 stripe is orange. You have a solid and an orange. You have man's sun sitting in the middle of the sun right here with the E and M. E and M. E is number 5 and M is number 4. 5 and 4 is the sun. 5 and 4. Where do I get that? 27 and 27 from the middle of one Rubik's Cube to the next is always the center, but it's always the center of number 14, making Monopoly 41 go to go. If you use it 41, 41, you get 28 time heaven because you're working together. Here's 54, 27 is 81. When you have the 10 worlds, you now have 91. Now if you add A to M, 1 to 13, it will equal to 91 or 7 days of 13 weeks of the cycle. 13 plus 1 equals into the next week. As I told you, it's supposed to be next year, but I forgot. When you turn the dice to the side, you now have one world that cancels out the other world. You're only running one world, 2 worlds in one world's time right now. Although they only run on one time, you run on one time of the whole world. So that would be the 10. And then Spirit Angel of Man putting on your hat would be 11. It would make 102. And that's Valentine's Day. And that's the 21st of November. Let me see, the 21st? No. It's the 321st day which is the 16th of November. Valentine's Day, 9090, two presidents, 9090, with two presidents, Planet X, 6868, with one coming in, the 51 of Barack Obama, into the 5 hole. Oh no, it's all too perfect. You have 27 and 14. What you're left over is 13. And man was 1 and 11, equaling to 12. The most he got was back at 3, the creation of 1, because that's the only thing going home is the creation of his story. The one story of the one story told. Now it's the one story in heaven of man. This is 81, which is Venus. If we go up 12, it's 103, and it's Mercury. It's the son of man. My son is exactly those days behind me. Now, if I can spin this book and show you another piece of what I was just talking about. I want to put everything in here, even if it doesn't work. Here's the other world. This is based on this is the other world. This and this, can you see the way it goes around? It's an 8. It's tulips, but they have to separate to open up the 7th gate. The 7th gateway, D, E, and F. This world or this world. You see the way it goes? Up and down. This one will go this way. One world goes up and down. One world goes this way. That's the way it runs. One side of the field, the other side of the field. Here's your eye, and here's your eye. The minute the game starts, you attach two sides together, and you become the H. This is the same marking where the 7th gate comes up. I think I already showed this, which this again, this is the swastika. 1, 2, we drop in the middle of 2 through the middle of 5. We come down to 8 through the middle of 8. We come back into 9, and we jump back into the middle again of XXX. We're stuck in the middle right here. This is the rotation. If you ever walk into McDonald's, you'll see pyramids standing just like this. Exactly like this it'll show at McDonald's right now. It's the bat, it's the M. The way the sides come down, you see the way they keep connecting? They keep connecting into different worlds. The organ grinder pulling up to 1, upstairs it goes this way, downstairs goes this way. Organ grinder mix. Grover Cleveland, 22 and 24 is 46. Because when you go east and west, look at your telephone. That's what the number is. So then the number of this, again, 1, 2, 2, 5, 5, 8, 8. I'm going to do this with you. I know you don't even know what it is, but I took the numbers in order that I had to split up everything. So 1, 2, 2 is the Mayan number. Of 5, 5 is the passage of the 88 world, of the 9 birth, of the 1, 2, 2, of the 1 spirit, of the 7th gate, of the 9 flesh. And that's what these numbers look like, and this is what it looks like. When you build this into a box, it builds something else. This, if you corner it from here down to here, it creates the L, one of the wings. You put another box here, and it gets another wing. Guess what? This is the weekend those wings come alive. I am so thirsty. The piano tune, ABC1, DEF1, ABC2, DEF2, ABC3, DEF4. Because we're being born. ABC, 3 different levels. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 2 is 8. And 3, 1, and 3. The 2 2s are in between. Is this. This number, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 8, 8, 9. I left out 4 and 7 because I followed the line this way. If I do it the other way, I get 365, 47. 365 days and a clock of time of Jesus Christ. I can't believe I'm late again. He was the Son of God, my friends. He surely was, but they stole his mind from him. So something else happened. The alphabet, the keyboard. Okay, so we're finished with this, and I want to go back to the book. I must find one thing in here. Before I go, I'm going to remind you of this picture. Okay, the mustache again. Things as it's coming off. Do you ever see the Egyptian plates? I've never done this before, so I'm doing it now. What do you think that is? It's around the neck. It's a horseshoe around the neck. It's that butterfly that's capturing everything, and it goes down to the pineal gland, where you start to sweat behind the neck, and it goes down to the pineal gland, and it looks like a horseshoe, and it locks in there, so whatever you're thinking, whatever comes out your sweat, it's got you covered. It's showing you right on the top exactly what side it's on, and it shows a peanut. And it shows an elephant with his hand by his side, with the blue electronic world and the golden mind. This is all the thinking stripes you get to the bottom of the beard. Because as you think, the beard grows, and you scratch your beard as it grows. As your good information grows your beard even faster. It tells you whether or not it's scratching on the inside, so I'm a little confused with the beard, but we'll get that done. And anyways, we want to get back to this book. Hello, it's 1 hour long. I just want to look for one thing in here. Ah, I found it right away in the first couple of pages. I'm going to get a drink. Just give me a minute. It's been an hour. Oh, my God. Oh, I watch what I drink. It's like seaweed. I took my taste buds and I just shoved them outside. If it's sour, I want you. Monopoly, in the middle of Monopoly, it says lemon. Ron, I have sent you down from the sixth dimension within your mind. The sixth dimension within my mind, 6 is in the moon is 13. Man's mind is 6, and the moon is 13, because that's what God gives you. God gives you the moon, so it must be 13. That'll make 19. 19 by 19 is 361. 3, 6, and 1. Why don't you go for a touchdown or a field goal or an extra point? You go 6 days and 1 day and 3 days. But before that, you got to go 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3. 7 times. 7 times 3, 1, 3. And they read it in Torah. And the reason 7 times 3, 1, 3 is the piano, where you go A, B, C, connect. A, B, C, connect. A, B, C, connect. But when you put them in numbers with differences, it shows you when the repetition comes at its real time value, because you're going to see the numbers repeat again. But if you only use ABC, 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 it won't reflect and you won't see the mirror image. So we change the number from ABC to DEF, in which F and A go together to reflect the same one, because it brings in the law of averages, the center of 2. So it says like this: I have been sent down from the 6th dimension. So that means the 6th dimension. 6 and 14, that would be. And that's in the pool balls. The pool ball 6 and the pool ball 14 is 8 apart. That's your mind. 8 is the man's 2 parts of the sea, the up and the down. Plus he's got the 6 mind with 14. He now has 20. But he takes 10 away, 1 away, or excuse me, 9 away. He has to run 9, 11, because the 9 has never left his head, the sperm. The only result is 1 man, but his 9 sperm is in his head, trying to move all the gears, like an octopus, trying to say, hey man, what's going on? So this is what happens. I have been sent down from the 6th dimension from within your mind. The reason I am here is the problem you have with the spirit world. Who are you? And what do you want? What are you talking about? I do not have much time. Don't play stupid with me, Ronald. You know what I mean. While you keep picking losers, you keep yourself out of the spirit world, you know. You are lucky enough to get to go to the spirit world, so don't fuck it up. No, I must be back in the spirit world, for there lays the truth. That is right, Ronnie. Wait a second, first you call me Ronald, and now you're calling me Ronnie. So it just seems like my brain on one side is talking to the one on the other side. Ronald and Ronnie, hey Renee, Grenade, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? Shut up, you stupid idiot. What's going on? Can't you mind your own business? Ronnie? Ronald, where are you, Ronald? Ronnie, mind your own business. Ronald, where are you? You're in my mind. That's why I never used that name until the government made me change my name to Ronald. And when they did, I was introduced to the second part of my mind. Because when I called his name so many times, Ronald, 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 I now focused and recognized I was part of the birth certificate that in 2002 I renewed to go down to Cuba to get the Q of the bar, the other side of the ranch. That's right, Ronnie, you must get back more often. But not only that you stay away because you uck up all the time, you keep others and myself out also. So no more uck-ups, and or you will be forced down to this ghetto, or I will be forced back down to this ghetto of a planet, and I don't want to return. living on the outside of me for many years. Do you know what he told me? He showed me what death was. He showed me that when black was black, black was black, and it was silent more than you can even think. He stuck in my head, bye, bye, Miss America, bye, Miss America pie. Good old boys will be drinking WH, whiskey, and RH and rye. These will be the days that I die. And when that song came out, that was the end of my life. It destroyed my life until I was the age of 41 years old, when all of a sudden I partaked in the bipolar episode. But I didn't partake just like that in the bipolar episode. It didn't happen just like that. The doctor prescribed to me Effexor, but they didn't tell me what the effects were. After, when he tells me you can take one more pill, and then he says if you're feeling okay, do not take the pill. Well, guess what? I took the pill and I didn't take the pill, and I took the pill and I took the pill and I took the pill, and all of a sudden I started getting sick. I couldn't last without it, and all of a sudden one night after Effexor, it blew my mind. It blew my mind. Effects blew my mind. I saw a light in the sky, a light like it was day. Told me a story. From the story I got many books, many items, many books. This book is the original book, but let me finish with this. That's right, Ronnie, when you get back more often, but don't only that you stay away because you fuck up all the time, and keep others, myself also, and no more fuck ups, or I will be forced down to this little thing in my head is going to come and live with me down here, thinking it's trapped in this world until it dies, and it doesn't want to die because it doesn't want to die a death on this planet. It'll die up. It doesn't matter leaving the body when it goes up, because the minute the full man dies over here, he goes back to the inside of his brain and takes no less than 7 seconds, where he weighs 7 grams, to where he takes off into the sky, and he takes with you in your memory right in that, and you float into the sky. He leaves, and he's only the mist of the air you breathe in, because it's the air you breathe in that you breathe out that sends you home. Oh, I don't feel good and must be dreaming. Hopefully I'll remember your message. I am thirsty and must go get a fruit drink, or else I'll be sick. Fruit, drink? How in the world? I didn't write this. This comes from a site that wasn't even open yet, and it showed up at my door. And I'll just continue to the end now. Remember the message. I am thirsty and must go get a fruit drink, or I will be sick. Don't let others down, or you will be forced to leave the nebula. Nibiru, nebula. You will force to leave the nebula, take this number down, of 4283, some 3003 away from the end journey, and always for the other side, for without the other side, you are on the wrong side. Goodbye, Ronnie. And then this shows up on my computer. You need to return exceptions, SAS. 2010. This shows up. SAS Toto. I do not know what it is. 9219. 9219. If you have 9, you have 11. If you have 9311, you have 911. You have 11. 112. I don't know what that means. So we'll put this aside now. Oh, and there's one more thing in here. I got to read. I'll make this as long as I want. Whatever it is. You don't want to watch it, don't watch it. I have to read the other part. I have to read the other part. I will do my best to make changes and require to enter the Spirit Nebula 7286. 72, 9 times 8, plus the strand of 14, and 72 is 86. You must always mention the Father on the bottom, 72, and you above is 86, the man with the head in the world. I'm looking for one connection in here that I did not read. No more, I can't tell you. Okay, you know, you stay away from the myth, the time. There are fallen angels. Yes, the myth is of fallen angels amongst others. So as long as you play with the fallen angels, you let Lucifer get a strong grip on you, thus making it for you a former king of the heavens to get back. And when former kings, members, end up with Lucifer, they usually come back to the material world as insects or vultures. But you are being a member of the family of kings from the 4 holy houses. 4 times 3 is 12 groups. 4 holy houses. Four holy houses. There's 3 that go around you all the time. 4 in every single one is 36. Plus your own, plus the extended world. Plus the extended worlds. From the holy houses and from me, to restore the joy of salvation, uphold me within the Spirit. Please help me pray for those who are lost within themselves, who do not harm themselves and others at times and lie and manipulate because they engage in gambling and illegal activities with the devil. You see this? If you hold it this way, it looks like one thing. If you hold it this way, it looks like two eyes. You see the eyes here? You see the Pontiac image on this side? The Pontiac image is a seventh gate on an angle. When you open it up, you're sliding out from one world to the other world. So if you want to go up to heaven, too bad. You're going down, because down is up. Let's see what else there is. I'm always wanting more. Mister, I must make sure I get into the world of angels, your actions. Angel R2086, just a regular guy. Yes, I know. Lucifer and Satan. Clues. No, there's something missing in here. Cast me not away. Can you just stick with me? I'll tell you when I get it. Fifth angels, don't screw it up. Ronnie. You see, because I'm putting this on here anyways. This is my site, and I don't remember everything. So I just put it up here, and you're partaking to share is cool with me. And I talk because I want to exalt myself. And here, let me read this part. Ronnie, just a fast message to tell you that Serge, S-E-G-E, which is an egg, the spirit egg, Serge is my head, okay? That Serge has been very busy gathering poor souls. That's me. That's my poor souls, all my souls in my body. He's attracting all of them. He has to go where he can get his wings. Even those souls as yourself who do not need his advance are not to give up on. He must first help the souls that want a better existence on your planet Earth 2009 and the spirit world, in which your case is Nebula 7286. This is 4.5 years after. This is exactly when the sun meets the worm. Did you learn your lesson yet? You are now in purgatory. Where am I? It seems like I feel like I'm in the intra-world, the passage between the two worlds. This is when I hit bipolar. Do not play with what does not belong to you. Yes, I understand, and I will be well conducted in this house. I will be wise for the Lord. Ronnie, there are millions like you who must find the demons in their own house. Though your own house is your own moon is your own head. I'm trying to look for when it says AC green, because it says AC green in one of these things. Serge has to earn his wings. I will not be as boring. The crows are not telling a good story. It's them who will reveal themselves to you. Who are the crows? The Phoenix? Is that Arizona Phoenix? What's going on in Arizona Phoenix? Or the coyotes? Messenger 410-63 is now in another nebula zone. He tried to show himself in you, Mr. Ronald, as an old friend of your grandfather's, 1971. But he could not make the progress with you. Eventually, it will lead to your hospitalization until you next take his words. 1971, the man's head and the seventh gate of the one spirit, that means his brain. The brain is at the seventh gate. That's how they manipulate. They manipulate through the X. That's how they manipulate. They manipulate through the X. Okay, that's the D and G. That's the D and G signal, how they manipulate. Serge, his worldly name, is now in another Lebia, working on a spirit who's due in the land in the constellation Mayan near the Aztec Freelies of 1539. 1539, it's 555, and it's 131313, which is 555444, which is only in my own mind. It hasn't left my mind. Serge, messenger. Now, in here it said, you must speak to AC Green. I don't know where it went, but it said you must speak to AC Green. AC Green, 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 Icy Green, Icy Green, Icy Green, the tundra? Is that a football place? Icy Green? Green. Green Bay? Green Bay and Minnesota? The Great Lakes? Niagara Falls? What are you talking about? Okay, we're finished with this book for now. We're going to get into this book for a minute. Then I'm going to go into my last book for the night. This is how it all started. This is how it all started. This is the number I got, and this is what it told me. The return of the SIG test, 7286 of 5281. 5 and 2, 5, 2. You see this over here? Replace the 2 with the 8. It's 8 and 5 and 5 and 8. 13, 13. This is the doghouse. This is the communication up and down. 81 is Venus. Venus inside the dog pound. 8 and 5 in the 50-hole pressure system. Look at the pages. 222. POA. 7 or PDA. 7, 4, and 1. That's the left side of your telephone. It says Satan 1, Satan 2. 8 and 10. Satan 7, 8, and 10. It's talking about return of the SIG test. Sigmund Freud, Dragon Ball Z, 4, 2, 8. Back to Grover again, Cleveland. And then if you read on the 13th line, I'll read it to you what it says. Do you feel like a chain store? Practically floored and everything's on special, but you have no cash to get in? One of many zeros kicked around and bored. Your ears are full, but you're empty. Holding on to your heart to people who never really care how you are. Color me green. So give me a coffee and TV for the scratch. History, I've seen so much I'm going to be blind. And my brain is braided virtually. It's braided. It's braided into 3 strands, and the 2 strands that you need, that's where the snake comes in. The braid of your strain, your DNA, is braided, and there's 1 strand in the center that's intercepting everything. Is that the way it is? Or there's 2 strands in the center intercepting the center, and they're not telling you the proper thing about your DNA. If I knew a little bit about DNA, I can get on and tell you this story, because the words speak. Every word speaks for a reason. And if you take every word, if you take the word braid into the hospital, it's going to mean something to somebody. If you take braid into a hairdresser, it's going to mean something to somebody. So you take the definitions of all of Webster's, but only take the words. Keep the definitions as an in-between and go into a different house, and that's what it'll mean in that house. Because there's only so many letters and shapes, and then that's all you got. A, B, C, and then it breaks up. So give me coffee and TV. History, I've seen so much, and I'm braided virtually. Sociably, it's hard enough for me. Take me away from this big bad wolf of a world and agree to marry me again so we can start all over. And then it starts to say, it says NBSP. And when I look up NBSP, it says National Broadcast Special Standards and Poor or something. It says, what does it say? It is now we have the love of heart, the poor of the worthiness of the souls have come, and to trace the 5 with the universal and universal social worker as the fatherly worm, blah, blah, blah. I don't like what this is, but where is it? What you have to look up is NBSP, because this is what happens. You remember the 313? Now I can use it in this NBSP if I use the rules and regulations that I find. There's 4 in between 1, 4 in between 1. So instead of 313, it's 4141. You see, one world is 1 and 3, 1, 3. The other is 4, 1, 4. So you keep doing it. So this is the way I would do this. Just find the right equation, ask the right question. If you have the right question, you already know that 3 and 4 are not in this world. They don't have a U on it. One is the sandbox for the prism of the mind that the mind goes in to learn. And you have, it says NBSP and the and is on the 7th key on the piano, so it means the 7th gate. Then it says NBSP, which is 5, 2, 10, 9. Okay, so instead of saying 0, 10 becomes a number. Because 10 becomes a number as 0 and 1. And 1 divides the field. And when you divide the field of 10, you end up with 2 Ds, because that's what it looked like, or you end up with 2 circles. It's 2 circles or 2 Ds, but it wouldn't matter, because if you square off the field, you end up with 1 square and a D here and a D here. D-O-D, 4, 6, 4. It's just the way it is. If it's a circle, it looks like a D. And if you make it square, if you open it up in the center, it looks like an I. The way it is, it looks like an I. Now you got an H. From 0 and 1, you have more than you think. You have more than fills your plate. And then I get to the 13th one, and it says to me, excuse me. When I get to S19, I go 1 and 9 is 10. And I only add 5 to it because it's in the first world. 1 to 9, 5 is in the middle. So you automatically find to the 1-O letter, you put 1-5. So you just put the 5. 1 and 5 are just a 5 because it means you're in the middle of the circle. Whoever you are, that is who you are. So it becomes 5, 2 in the middle of the circle. 5 and 2 is in the middle of the circle. So Jupiter is sending a child from Venus into the middle of the circle to spawn, S and P, spawn together. 5 and 2, P is the 1 spirit of 6. You automatically get the 4 sides of the dice, 2 and 5, 3 and 4, and 1 and 6 is the light that comes in, because 1 and 6 lights up 6 lights, 1 lights up 6, and 6 lights up 1. Why? Because of the 6 dice. 3, 1, 3, 4, 1, 4. And I only looked at it now. And then when you get to it, it says all about the things. Blah, 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 blah. I long to blah, 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 believe. Blah, 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 blah. And then it says about love and truth. And I want to believe and what you mean to me. And I want to and believe for the color of love. And I want to, and I am wasted away. I made millions of mistakes. Am I too late? There is a storm in my head and it rains in my bed. When you are not here, I'm not afraid of dying. But when I'm afraid of losing you, my death has already come. Then it says it this is in Greek. Our minds are in Germany. Underneath those train stations, they were building something. And they were storing our minds, taking something out of our heads, certainly with some kind of machine. And then when we came up to the land, and you thought all the Jews were just killed away that, not a Jew was killed. Not one. Not one. They suffered on the way down, and they saw the hordes of ghosts. But their mind ended back upstairs, because it wasn't the end of the mind they needed. It was only the strand that they had to take from everybody's strands to mix everybody's strand up. So the minute they take your strand, you automatically die and go to heaven. And it ain't a sweet death. No borders allowed to secure it. This looks like a peaceful ghost, except the dead body. All your dreams that were alive just pass on by. You're a desperate until you kill yourself. Unless you die, they will hunt you down through the darkness around. But the only thing is, the sperm that is standing up in your head, running your life, he dies at the end. He becomes water of the mist, and he returns into the heaven, only of the mist, to go back to where he came from. He was only a machine in your head, but he was really in the sky. And it was in the sky that managed the machine that you managed to manage itself. Moi, tu me fais pas si mal, moi, schmeiß-moi vie dehors. Verdrange en image de secteur, prendre-moi dehors. Moi, tu me fais pas si mal, moi, out. Schmeiß-moi de vie dehors. Verdrange aux images de secteur, prendre-moi ici dehors. Allow me to secure this look upon the piece of ghost and accept of the dead body. All of the dreams that were alive just pass on by, and you are desperate until the end. This was French and English and German all in once. And this one says, Sich zu washven die ding di man. See, this one adds in a little Chinese and a little German. See, they mixed up the languages here, I can see. You know how I can see? Three letters, and I see which way they went with it. I know what can be possible in our language and what I can't say. Then it starts talking about Zionism, thus received market basis and appeals strongly to the masses. We see the organizations of social democratic Zionist parties, POAL, P-O-A-L-E, Zion by Socialist Borshov. Who is Borshov? Borisov. And Ben Zvi, Ben Z-W-I. Who is that? Great Russian general strike, always part of the Zionist strategy, and the organization of the revolution of the red journals. Russian? Well, I'm part Russian. At the same time, the party was organized in Russia's sister societies were organized in America and in England, finally in Palestine. Ah, that's why the Israelis are against them. For all these Zionist workers of Zionists, we read it is a party, not for Palestine alone, but also for Golis. All Jews everywhere in the so-called dispersion and in the interest for the reason Poali Zionism is the center of the east side of New York, from which comes forth almost all Jewish American movements, or without which no movement can prosper. That's right. My grandparents came from New York. They moved to one of my brothers. They moved to California. California's a place they ought to be, so they moved up to trucking. They moved to Beverly Hills, that is. Swimming pools and movie stars. Cement ponds and granny's good old moonshine. The full Zionists have made the best record in the Congress movement, where they forced the whole Jewish laboring class on one hand and the Zionists on the other hand, as well as the better-to-do elements to participants C 222 and 223. Even 1917 and 1918 were stated to be more than 100 societies in the National Workers Alliance which cooperate with Poali Zion. So there is more than 1917, there were more 100 societies around the world, National Workers Alliance, in which cooperates all the national works and all the what do you call it, the unions. All of this constitute a large, see page 78. I don't know where page 78 is. Even on page 225, where is page 78? 71, 75, 79, 78. Multiple discoveries that were orchestrated by Satan through the scientists like Martin Hendricks Klaproth, who discovered uranium, Marie Curie, who was the pioneer in the field of radioactivity, Albert Einstein and the theory of relativity, and we're cracking the code, Albert. This is the end, my friend. This is the end of 1955 and the beginning of 1963, my friend, because 1963 is for all creation of all crustaceans that become the nine worm that splits 3 by 3 and becomes the octopussy in his head. Marie Curie, Einstein, eventually towards the manifestations of the Barry Satoro, all made for Barack Obama. It's Barry Satoro. Here it is, Satan, our potenent. Rotor, opera, tenent. You see, I have never read a book. I bought 2 books in my whole life. I just connected the dots back to back. Never read a book. Haven't read a book. Let me continue on to this. So this page over here was telling me, okay, and I'm going to finish with this page first. It's telling me that all the unions joined the Zionist group, controlling 70% of its votes. It controls 70% of its votes. So when you go and vote, there's only 30% left. And when you make that 30%, if you get 50-50, they get 85. That's the matrix number, the speed of the brain of the matrix spirit angel. I know. I added up the numbers because the other way is 58 and it makes 33. The command and the create of one side, 3 and 3. You get the second side, which is 3, and you take the 3 and 3 off the 2 ends. You become -3 to each end. You put it in the center as 9. You got 090. 090 is Valentine's Day in a few more days because it's the 90th day from the other Valentine's Day, and they're both 45 in between, which is the fox, and the fox is number 68. How do I know? Number 23. Number 68 is Planet X. Yes, I made a gist. 70% of the votes of the Jewish legions that fought the sides of the Allied armies in Egypt and Palestine. A Yiddish weekly, Yiddisher, Camper, and the monthly Jewish Frontier supported his Tadruf and its prominent place in the Zionist World Organization, Poali Zion, Strings of the Marcus School. It seems like some kind of Jews have joined the Zionists to knock out the world, and that's maybe why they're only going to be 500,000 people left, because most of the people of the Jews may not be with the Zionists. Maybe these Jews are with it, and it's not 500,000. It can never be 500,000. There's 15 million Jews, so 500,000 times 15 is 7.5 million Jews might be saved, and the rest of them are gone. The same amount that was lost in Austria. Do you understand why? Because of the percentages. A poll of Zalin of Palestine party mentioned in the above 1943, and we're back to 1943 because 43 by 47 brings us to this date. Report was called Aduth Habodah. It's almost like saying Aldous Huxley was born and they knocked him out. This was Aduth Habodah. Aldous Huxley was in the same time. 17 years later, Aldous Huxley was dead. From the time this man, they replaced his name. The yearbook of 1946 to 1955, the Examiner. I told you 1955 was getting knocked out, because 1955 is 74. The Christ mark, the halo of Christ, and the thorns on his head is being cancelled. Christ is going to return back home now. And now he can come back again as the Son of God, as the real Son of God, and not the one who pranced all over and made a fool of himself, that he had to wear the thorns. But he wore the thorns because he knew if he was a nice flower and he wore thorns, he can knock off any bubble that's coming towards him, or any prick. He can divide. He shoves a prick inside the eye of the prick and he splits the eye open. The formation in 1897, founder of the Israeli political orientation. So now when you play Monopoly and you see Oriental, it could be meaning the orientation of the chance, the place where you play in the Monopoly of Israel. I just lost my place somewhere. Okay, over here. The Jewish, the Zionists, blah, blah, blah. I'm jumping over a piece. Marxist parties in Israel. Where there is a changing and realigning the Marxist political composition of Israel does not change left, Poal, Zion, and Ahutdat Avoda from the part. Somehow did my camera go off? I have a funny feeling my camera went off. Wow, that's not cool. That means this whole video can go down to nothing. So I'm going to make it real quick. MAPAI affiliated. Arab parties 4. HERUT 16. General Zionists 14. Religious Front Mizrashi. Hapol Hamizrashi 12. Aguda 6. Ashdut Avoda 10. Mapam 8. Progressives 5. And Communists 5. And what these parties are in brief, says the Palestinian yearbook, Mapai Zionist Social Party from the Intercept of Mapai has been affiliated with the Second Brussels International of Lenin, and other red belonged to the Second International until Moscow forms its own called the Third International, a combine of Marxist parties formed in 1919. Wow. David dies, David is born. My uncle's born in 1919. My son is born in 1991, both with the same nose on their face, both with the same birthdays, very close. The Jews and the communism of Russia. Let me read this connection over here on number 78. One of the greatest faults in the devil's plans to pioneer the atomic age was the mistake of the Nazis. The Nazis made against their own atomic bomb effort an expelling of non-Germans, especially Jewish intellectual masterminds like Albert Einstein, because the German war was all about getting rid of the Zionists. That's why he made the swastika, to get rid of their sign. He broke their sign up because they wanted to take over the world. Hitler was a hitter, and he was here to help and not to kill. But because no one can see what was actually going on, he also was manipulated, and he brought them down. He was emptying out the brains of all the Jews, something he had to do. I do not know exactly what it was, but somehow they mixed the uranium with the radioactivity, Albert Einstein, nuclear reactors, and all this stuff. They were working on the minds of men. They weren't putting into shame. They were just working on their minds. They wanted to see what worked on their mind and what didn't, how they can play mind control. And it's the same thing from Aldous Huxley, who was in here. Eventually guaranteeing Germany would have lost the Second World War one way or another, but they're still under the ground. Between 1901 and 1932, that is before Hitler came to power, ANC launched anti-Semitism. You see, the first war in 1914 was one war. I forget what it was about, but it's connected certainly. And it says over here, from 1901 to 1932, Nobel Prizes in chemistry were awarded to 14 citizens of Germany, 2 citizens of the United States. This information, Germany originally had a great advantage of the rest of the world in regards to hosting superior brilliance among the intellectual thinkers. He should consider It is a stroke of God that Hitler expelled many scientists, geniuses as he did. Hitler was a genius. If the Nazis did not expel the number of superb thinkers and instead put them to work on the Nazi atomic bomb effort, that they would potentially won the atomic race and defeated the Allies in the Second World War with the atomic weapons. They were trying to get rid of the man from controlling man, and that has to do with the Jews. J-U, but Earth and Mars have A-R, angel residence. There is nothing, but Jew does exist, and it's in a different kind of Jew. That it's a Hebrew, and the brew in the Jew is an EW and not a U split. So it's not a U like in Jupiter. It's a J-E-W, now brought down to the Urantia world and realigned with everybody, and you spell Jewish J-U. U-U-I-S-H. It's U-U-U, 21, 21, 21, the 63, the creation of man. So I read you this over here, and I read you it for a reason. I read you it for a reason because this is how it all started with me. So wherever the numbers came from and from whatever I do, the pig's nose. I just wanted to show you, I just noticed it. Here's the pig's nose, okay? Here's one tusk, and here's the other tusk. You think it's good enough? Do I have to show you the outside and what the size of my tusk is, or can you see the point well enough? One, my third finger of 5, but it's my face. So now 5 is my nose. 5 is my nose, and it's the 3 part of creation. Just the same as this. So if you face me face to face, this is what the pig house is about. The 5, orange. The 1 and 3. It's the orange ball. It's the Son of God inside your nose. Something to do with the sun. And it takes the yellow ball, and it takes the red ball. And now I'm not getting into that. We're in an hour and 36. Because all the pool balls come together. But when you call the pig a bélier, like in the Lion King, or you call a pig a sanglier, we were supposed to have not this kind of goat. Is this a goat, or which one is it? Is it the goat, or is it the sanglier? C, D, X. C comes together. Do you see a D? I don't see any D. Inside here is the D. C, D, and here's the X that you get. You also get YX. Look what it makes. 3, 4x. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 and 8 is 14. Man comes into this world as AD. Then he has the creation of the pyramid and the sandbox. His head, his mind, inside the sandbox. Underneath 2 kinds of worlds. 19 and 24 is 43. The number 43 is where we are right now. This 19, 1 plus 9 equals 10. 10 equals to 5. It's 15. 1 and 5 is 6. But he's in this hole. He's in the 1 and 5 hole. He's 6. He's 5. He's 3. He's 1. 6, 3, 1 makes your 10. 1 and 9. Because they make the same stretch in the full thing. It's talking about your eye and your tail. The 9th letter is your tail, and the 1 is your eye. 1 and 9. 11 and 3 in red pool. 14. 8 and 6. Perfect. The 5 and 6 man of the 3 creation gets the 8 and 6 head. 2 and 3 because 11 becomes 2. 2 times 3 is 5. 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 plus 3 is 5. There you're 11. 6 by 5 is 30, plus 11 is 41. Now we're back into the game. 14 of the 11th. This is in a couple of days from now. It becomes 90, 90, 90, 90 because of the 2 presidents that are in the 90, and the 90 days from Valentine's, and 45 days to Valentine's, from November all the way to January, and from January all to, and that puts you at center field at the football game. What football game? Right now I saw Minnesota, and that's tomorrow night. Minnesota. Green Bay, Minnesota. What's it going to be? Something small? Just a crack? What's going to happen tomorrow night? Is there anything that's going to crack? Because that time, 21 years ago, less 30 days, 22 years ago, less 21 days, I choked. I choked like I was dying, and it's like I swallowed something. It was the craziest choke in the world. It was almost like I did die, and I went through a passage and came out the other end. My stomach was squeezing. Here's your finger in the middle. Ding dong. Which one? You're holding at the bottom? You see it? You're holding it at the bottom? The Third Reich. Google 7667. 13, 13. Here's the 5 and 3, right over here. 5 and 3. 7, 6, 6, 7. 13, 13. 13 is 7. 7 and 13. The middle of that is 10. This weekend, it's the 10th week, but there's 7 weeks left in football. They only play 16. 2 cheat. 12 and 4. Now it's the purple ball. The 12 and makes 4 and 3, Earth and Mars, but it makes it from this, 1 and 2. What's wrong with that? They just came out with the song. Could have been a ruler. What was that song? What's the name of that song? Because whatever they're singing, it's like they're saying, I could have been the ruler, I could have been this, I could have been that. Who's singing it? Is it Jesus singing it? Is it Mary singing it? Is it God singing it? Is man saying, oh shit, I lost the game, I couldn't get him, I'm the banker, but they're all after me now. Who's singing it? Purple, violet, I could have been a king, it could have been red or violet, I don't know what it was. I don't remember. I wish I can remember that song. I wish I can remember that song. Then we had pi. We already did pi. The 311th day is the 5th. That is today. Okay? You don't do on 311 because that's the exact red ball. That's their red flag today. This is their red flag. That's why they became 3 and Mad became 1 and 9 yellow. This is the red flag day, the 5th of November. On the 7th of November, okay, it becomes 313. 3 to the 1, 1 to the 3, it becomes day 77. They're both at the 7th gate. But when you get to day 315, okay, you have now into the passage of the 7th gate, 1 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. 1 and 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, guess what? It's worth 6. This is worth 2. So now it's worth 4 is 10. Then it's 1 and 1 is 11 and 12. I got 12 in one hand. I don't even have 1 fingers. And I didn't even count between the fingers yet. 7 and 10 and 6 this weekend. 7 World 5 and 1 meet. 304th day was October. You see the way it works? 304th day is October 31st. Okay, 30 meets the 5 passage. It ends up to be 3, 5, and 4. 3, 5, and 4 over here, okay? But it's 3 times the 5 is 15, so it becomes 3, 6, and 4. So 3, 6, and 4 means the 13th moon ends on October 31st. October 31st, it ended the day before because now it's a leap year, so you close. Then all of a sudden, in the 1st of November, touches this, and this touches this, because this is not in a leap year, and this becomes in a leap year. So this touches this, that touches this, and touches this. This is your side of the door, this is their side of the door, and this is their side, this is your side. 304 against 306, which would be 6, 0, which would be 6, 0, 6, and 4. Well, I'm going to have to multiply it. 3 times 3 is 9. 6 by 4 is 24. 2 and 4 is 6. 6 makes 8. We have 8 versus 9 right over here. So 8 and 9 says you're coming into the world. Have you ever seen number N and O? N and O says my number is 1, M, 3, N, 1, 4, O, 1, 5. Then I put 1 and 2. I'm 1 and 2. If you're 1 and 2, or 1 and 8, I'm sorry, 1 and 8. Whatever it is, the Chivas Regal, because 1 meets 9, and 2 meets 2. Do you know why? Because 2 is 8. 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. The only one that triples up, it's 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 by 2 is 8. What other things do you want to get done? There's nothing else you can get done in the numbers. Let me see what else there is. The unicorn. I didn't finish with the unicorn earlier. Is when in the middle of your clock. In the middle of your clock. In the middle of your clock, right here in the star space, 1, 3, 5. This is what we're getting into this weekend. They're going to center field this weekend, and you see this is the plus. This is the return. All these markings tell you what to do. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. So look, 3.14159265, dead center this weekend. That's where we are. So you see, the moon cycle is in between. In between here is number 6. In between here is 7. In between here is 3. In between here is 4. 3, 4, 5, 2, 4, 6. So that's where it is. 3, 4, 6, 7. That's the Einstein theory. I put a square in between a square, and you can square it off with the inside square being just a little bit different, right? Because it takes the numbers from the other side. You don't mark them down, but it just takes the inside numbers. I'm just going to see what else is left in this book. I don't know if we did the piano. We definitely saw the other world standing up. This is the way, depending where you're going to go out each end. It's up and down. And then when you get into the world, it's this way, and you got to carry your own weight. 1 and 9 is because 1 went with 7 and 2 went with 8. One went with 7 and 2 went with 7 because of the piano says center C. Is there anything else? This is the Monopoly. If I want to put the piano to it and connect it to the football, the Budweiser bow tie, usually this one is up, this one is down. If I put this one up, I go 1 and 4. If I put this one down, I go 6 and 9. Is it 1 and 4 and 6 and 9? Or is it 4 and 7 and 3 and 6? It's only one of the two, because that's how you make the bow tie pie. You make. You want me to show you? I'll show you. I'll show you. You see, either you take this one with this one, or you take this one with this one. This one here is going to say 1 and 4. This one here is going to say, this is what they're going to say. This will say 1 and 4. This will say 3 and 6. This one over here is actually supposed to say 6 and 9. So I'm going to put that in the corner, but I was working on something else before. And this one over here, okay, is going to say 4 and 7. And this is the time we keep, and this is the corner we run from. And if you ever look at the foods nowadays, wow, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. You look at the food nowadays, and they have all those 4 corners tagged. And why they don't tag the 4th corner? 9 goes into here because 9 runs from the 5 position. 9 runs the nose. He's a bull. So that's how you get this bow tie. So either it's this. So if it's that, you get 41, 39. You end up with 41, 39. And if you do it the other way, you end up with 47, 36. And that's the moon number. And this is time. This is time. This is Jesus. This is the moon. This is the place we should be. 39 to 41. Why? Because we should be between Boardwalk and Mediterranean. And otherwise, 39 and 41, if you look at 41 and you go the first time around, you get 1, you can't get the Mediterranean or the medication to fix yourself, which is somewhere in the Suez Canal, I believe, or somewhere in the Baltic, something underneath the ground in the Baltic, that something has to be released in order to repair the mind. And I think they have to repair the mind and take everybody prisoner at the same time because they're preparing to put in something new. So we have a small window between them putting something in new and blowing up this mind, and everybody all of a sudden just seeing life right in front of them just whiz on by. 36 to 47 is 11. Because you're 9 in the mind and they have the 2. They have the back door to Neptune to take you away. The back door from 41 to this. Here it's 11 all the way. 5 up. 5.5. 5.5. 5.5. 5.5. And it also says 11.9. This one says 5.3. See, this one says 5.3, the nose. This one says 9.2. Why? What happened? They got the 2 when you come into this world. You're on this side of it. They got the extra 2 on top of you. 1 and 1 is 2. 29 is the passage. So 39 to 41 is 2. And the other way it's 2. It's 2, 1, 2. And the other way over here, 36 is 41 is 5. 41.5. This one is 41.5. 5.5. You get this. 36, 5.5, you get this. You want to see what it makes? Here's your 5.5. Your spirit is 76, cuts them short. 11 away. Where you come into, boom. All you can get in between this is you're on go. Flesh. The red flesh is coming to town. And it's 8 to M. Look at the dates. The first part of pi. 13, 14, 15, 16. We had the butterfly, so we did it all. We did the cube, we did the butterfly, we did the Y and Y. We did the Pontiac symbol, right? Don't take out this part over here. Don't put an egg over here. The Pontiac symbol is here and here. You live from this side. You have this side, and you live from this side. You're not putting an egg. You're putting 2 nostrils. Your 2 nostrils to blow out. 2 nostrils to blow out. That's you from the 2 sides. You blow out 1, you take in 1, you got 2. It's the red devil. It's a whistle blower. You know why my father didn't like whistles? Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. I didn't finish this, the piano train, but I want to make it perfect, so I keep ripping out my pages over and over and over. And it shows numbers. You want to know what numbers it keeps saying? 1, 4, and 7. 1, 4, and 7. That's the timekeeper. The opposite of 1, 4, and 7 in the 7 in this world is 6, 3, and 9. ESP. Opposite is 3, 6, and 9. So I think 3, 6, and 9 should just leave the house of beta. Keep 1 beta because 3 already has 1 beta in her. And 6 already has 1 beta in her. And 9 already has beta in her. Why does it have beta in her? Because beta's here, 2 on this side, 2 on this side, 2 on this side, 2 all around 1. That's how beta goes. And the octagon says 8. Can you go any smaller inside the house? 3, 6, and 9. Multiply any number you want. It will always be 3, 6, and 9. Multiply it, then add it. Multiply it, then add it. Multiply it, then add it. Give me a number. 6. 3 by 6, 18. 1 and 8 is 9. 5. 3 by 5 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. Give me any number. The points of pi, 3.1415. Here's pi. Not going to do the other. I don't know. I can bring pi to this. First bring pi maybe to the 7 world. 3.14159265. So bring it to the 7 world. I'll need 4.6. And you know what's fun about the 7 world is that if you go to the 10 world, it's only 3. You go to 13, it's 6. You have enough on 1 set of the dice. So the 7 world is a safe place. If you're inside the 10 world, well, you're in the room of where 10 is. You go 5 up or 5 down, but you're going into another world. 4, 6, 3, and you got 6, and you got 5, has got 2, and 9. You need 7 to get there, and you need 5 to get there, and you need 1 to get there, and 2. So here's the numbers reflecting into the 7 worlds. Now that I'm in the 7 world, I'll multiply everything by 3. 3 by 4 is 12, 1 and 2 is 3. 3 by 6 is 18, 1 and 8 is 9. 3 by 3 is 9. 3 times 6 is 18, 1 and 8 is 9. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 7 is 21, 2 and 1 is 3. 3 times 5 is 15, 1 and 5 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6. So when you bump into pi, when you want to bump into pi, 3,999,63636. 363. 363 days. What day is that? Remove the 6 and put 303. That's 1 day before. It's October 30th, creation of the 10th month. If you move over in Monopoly to the right 10, you go into jail. If you move left, you're visiting jail. You have no way out because when you dice 19, you're on the other side. You're near New York or Kentucky. You're the orange, you're the yellow, or you're the red. You're not the green, and you're not hazy in your mind. Thank you for watching. I hope to God. Praise the Lord. Anyways, I just wanted to show you another thing. Zion in this. What happens? When you cause the bridge of H, you put a dash in between. I draw a dot and a dot, so this will bridge out. Z to N is the same thing from A to M, and that's how you get Zion, owning this last half of the alphabet. The only thing that man gets is 91. The alphabet is a total of 351. The balance is 260. 260 and 91, 351. It says ace. This is 20 times 13, which is in the Mayan calendar, and the Mayans have told a perfect story because my story seems to connect so well to be just as perfect as the Mayan history as the football field. And here's your football midfield. Whichever way, I can give you 100 different reasons, and every one is going to sound right. Something to do with the connection of the 2 mountains and number 78. 6 by 13 is 78, because your man is always, you know what 9/11 is? I got a stick on this side, okay, right here, and I'm holding the stick, and there's a guy with an X on the other side, and he's holding the stick, and he's going, what's he saying? What's he saying? And he's sending it upstairs, and he goes, this is what he's saying. He's saying insane. He's insane. We're talking to two sticks on each side. I'm the X-Man 911. I'm in between the two. I'm no more 9 than I am 7-11, because you have to take off 2 to get back to the gates to make the connection, because the 9 is only in the water world. And when her water busts, then she busts on her balloon and her belly goes out, her 2 mountains grow, and she starts to give milk on the hills. And that's why the goats give milk on the hills. And the breasts force out. And their little nipples, little pinchy nipples. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. Maybe we should show you the, yeah. Either it's going to work or it's not going to work, right? So let's do this. Let's do the piano together, okay? Let's do the piano together. And here's the piano. A, B, C. Now there's many numbers to write, but I'm going to do it simple. D, 4. D, 4. Now I got E, F, G. E, F, G. We have A. We have A, 8. Remember I said A and A? Now you have A8, which is the head of heaven's man. A8. This went down here, she went down here. Now this has to be boxed. This must be boxed. And not only that, but this has to go CD. And then D has to go E. No, D has to go back 2. In order for this to be last and be second, he goes back 2, but D goes back 2. B, C and B. This one is no longer in the game because it's in C. Then you got D4, 5, 6, 7. This one's 8. Then you have B, C, D, and then you have E. But it's E5. But it's not E5. It's 9, 10, 11. This would be number 12. So this would be number 12. I have A. And it's 1, but it's 8. This one's D, but it's 4. This is in the second level. Now you go to number 3. E is number 12. So you put E over here, and you put 12 over here. It's also number 5. E is number 5. So you'd have to put 5 over here. You put 12 over here, so you'll know the real number, because you have to. Then you go E, then you go F, G, then you go A, 1, 2, then you go B. Now B has to get boxed. Now B is number 2, B2. But it's now the 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now it's number 16. So now we put 16 down here. Now we go A, B is made, well, now we're going C, D, E. And now we go F down here. And now we go F over here. And F is 6. But it's 12, and this is 16. And this one here is 20. So it's F and it's 20. Now we get into the secondary world where everything doubles. Now we go E, F. Now we go G. Now we go H. Now, it's A. Now we go B. You went G, A, B. And now it's C. And the C gets into the mind trap. And the C goes over here. And the C is 3. But 20, 1, 2, 3. So it's 24. It becomes a 24th. So 24 goes down here, C, D, E, F, and then the G gets a box on it, so it's G7 at the 28th letter, and that's when you bring in the moon. You have G28. So now we have to go to another page. Let me see what I got here, D, E, F. So we finished on a G, so we start over on an A. This is A, B, C, and the D. Now we have the D, which is the D4, but it's number 32. It's number 32. This one, so this is D4, D4, and it's number 32. Now we have it on number 32. So now we go E, F, G. Now we've done that. Now we go A. A gets the box. A becomes number 36. So now we go number 36. We go A1, 36 down here. Now we go B, C, D, and E gets a number, and E is number 40. And this is where we start Monopoly, right here, from 36A, 1, 2, 3, 4, D. Then we have E, F, G, and then we go to A, and then B, and B gets boxed here. So when B gets boxed, this is number 44. 44. This is Barack Obama. This is right now. The next one is the Super Bowl. You see, we had to play 3 Super Bowls because Super Bowls are the same thing, like going forward in time. So now we have 44, which is a B. So we have B over here, and B is number 2, but at the same time it's 44 down here. I'm going to be able to remind myself of that, or I can just make it out over here. D. I'm going to finish it first. Now we go C, D, E, and we finish off with G. Now G is number 48, and we have to have it over here. G, we have 48, we have 7. Just before that we had B2, B2, it was 44. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7. Okay, then we had the next one. It was D. It was D 432. 440. Excuse me. Let me see this. B44. B44. Wait a second. That can't be possible. 32. D. Wow, I don't want to be mixed up. I had G7, 28. Then I had D, 432. I had D, 432. Then I had A. So this I have to make is A, 40, and number 1. And then I have D, which is number 4, and 36. And then I have G, which is number 7, and 32. And then I have C, which is 3 and 24. And then I have F, which is 6 and 20. Now I'm going to have to continue marking this, and I'm going to put it on a new page because I'm not finished until I'm finished. Okay? So we have 48 over here. Now we have A, B, C, D. 49, 50, 51, 52. The last one goes over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 13 times 4 equals 52. 52 weeks in a year. 39 weeks for a pregnancy, and in the 7th inning stretch, there's 18 and 21 outs. 6 times 3 and 7 times 3. You're the 6, they're the 7. God covers everything you do with 7. He's on the outside of everything, and you're on the inside of everything. So D finishes off over here. So D goes over here. It becomes number 4, and it becomes number 52. Now we rip this out. Now we're going to do this the right way and just finalize. D, A, E, B. I'm writing too big. D, A, E, B, F, C, G, D, A, B, G, D. You remember what I told you before? Remember I told you 1, 2, 3 and another one, 1, 2, 3 and another one? All you have here, okay, now we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 1 and 3, 6, 1 and 3. And we're going to break this down to find out. Day, before creation, God, Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet. Dalet, Aleph, I don't know what this is, Beta. Anyways, this is the beta face of creation, God, of Alpha, Beta, God. Okay, so we do that, and this one becomes number 4, this becomes number 1, this becomes number 5, this becomes number 2, this becomes number 6, this becomes number 3, this becomes 7, 4, 1, 2, 7, 4. Now there's many things to look at right now. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to find out what's the difference. 4, 1 and 2, 4, 1, 5, 4, 1 and 2, 4, 1 and 2, 4, 1 and 2, 7, 7 and 4, 4. If I go 1 here, and then 5 here, and then 2 here, and then 6 here, and then 3 here, going to be 7, 4, 1, 5, 2, 6, 3, 7, 4, 1, 5, 2, 6, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, 4, 5, 2, 6, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 4, 1, 2. I'm trying to see if I'm splitting this right. 7, 6, 3, 7, 4, 1, 2, 7, 4, 1, 5, 2, 1, 5, 2. Okay, here it is. Here it is. 1, 5, 2, 1, 5, 2. 7, 4, 4, 1, 2. 63, 74, 9, 11, 1, 2, 7, 4. 1, 2, 7, and 4. What do we do with this? Anyways, I don't know what the combination is right now. Wow. I got to do this again. There's something I don't like. Let's see. D, because I'm talking to myself and I'm recording, so that way I get to look at it. D, A, E, B, F, C, G, D, A, B, G, D. Okay, so now if I do that, if I got D, then let me go A, let me go E, let me go B, let me go F, or should I be doing it backwards? F, then we go C, then we go G, then we go D, then we go A, then we go B. Okay, let's see if we match it now. D-A-E, 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 B-F-C, 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 G-D-A, G-D-A, G-D-A. Now all we're missing is B and G, 2 and 7, beta, God. 2 and 7 is how it all started. Okay, so that's the piano. Now at the same time, we have to put the numbers. 4, 1, 5, 2, 6, 3, 7, 4, 1, 2, 7, 2, 7, 2, 7, 2, 7. It ends on C, doesn't it? 2, 7, 2, 7, 3, 6, 9. We ended on A. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is 28. Here, I just mark it here. This one's 4th, this one's the 8th, and this one's the 12th, and this one's the 16th, and this one's the 20th, and this one's the 24th, and this, you see right here, and this one over here is the 28th, and this one over here is the 32. This one is the 32. This is where Christ passed in, 32. And this one over here is 36. This one over here is 36. And this one is 40. And this one is 44. So the 7 is the G. Then you get the D. This is the 44. This is the 40. D is the 48. And A is the 52nd key. Is that possible? That the A is the 52nd key? So you end up with 7 and 1. Then you end up with 12 and 4 is 16 is 7. 7 and 1. Then you end up with 8 and 7 is 15 is 6. Then you end up with 40, but it's 48 because it's number 4. 48 is 12 is 3 is 5. Then you end up with 1 with 36 is 37. 3 and 7 is 10. It becomes 16. 6 and 1 is 7. This is 36. The 4 and 5 is 9. The 7 and the 28, this one becomes 10, 17, this one becomes 8, this one becomes 6 and 3 is 9, this one becomes 2 worlds is 26, 26 is 8 and 6 is 14 is 5, this one becomes 18, this one becomes 9, this one becomes 17, this one becomes 8, this one becomes 9, this one becomes 8. So this is the code that they run with. 898, 959, 897, 56771. So when I said we met the center over here, B and G, we would be at, where did we finish? We finished over here at A. So we take out this. So we finished over here, ADGB, Baghdad. Baghdad. What is that supposed to mean? What's happening in Baghdad? Where is Baghdad? because something's happening right there, right now. Some kind of control is right here in Baghdad. It wouldn't come out if it wasn't here. It's in the game. It's in Baghdad. You got that in the bag, and you got your head in the bag, and once you put that on your head doesn't think anymore. It's the one eye that's ready for the fish. But anyways, when we enter all these numbers, 7 and 1 become 8. Do we do, which one do we do? No, we can't do it. Do we take it? What do we do? 1, 2, 3, skip. 1, 2, 3, skip. 1, 2, 3, skip. 1, 2, 3, skip. Skip 1. So we'd start adding these up together. So let me just take a look. This is where we are right now. This is the 48th Super Bowl. Okay, because the Super Bowl is played with the Super Bowl trophy that's made like that. That supports the whole world. Okay, so what happened in 52? 52 in man. So this is Christ over here. Number 16, 20. Here we're in the dog pound, 2, 6, and 3. Here's the Christ on one end. Here's the Christ on the other end. Why? Because 33 times 47 equals 1551 of Christ. 1551, 1, 5, 5, 1 in the 7 world equals 6226. That's the connecting to the strand, 6226 to 1551. Am I sure about it? I'm only 100% sure about it. Now, all these things can get redone. The other thing I wanted to check out is who's in the middle. Now, if this one is not, you have to see where they repeat, D, A, E. Take away D and A. E, you got into the world with E. Now you have B, F, C, G, D, A. So you have to find out where the middle is and then take out the middle part. Let's see. Is this the middle? This is the numbers I took out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that it? Where are they? Where are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It ended there. 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The center is the 7th gate. 3 and 7 and 4 and 7. 3, 4, and 7, AC, DC. This is the piano. 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times 4 is 8. One side says 2, the other side says 3. This side says 2, this side says 3, because this is the creation side of the 7th gate. So now this is what the numbers we have. This would end up to be 12 and 7 is 19 all by itself. And this is the 7th gate. You add it on because the 7th gate you went into is the dog pound. 2 times 6 is 12 and 2 and 6 is 8. So you have the 8 head with the 1 and 2 sperm trying to roam you around this piano game. Anyways, there's more that we can do with this. We can take pi. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's so many combinations. Minnesota, Herbert Hoover. Oh, popping and boom, 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 boom. What's all the noise? What's all the noise? Oh my God. I'm wrong. I'm so wrong. I'm so wrong. I'm so wrong. Oh, is it going to correct the world? If it is, whatever is going to be is going to be. Let's take it from here. Let's have a happy weekend, and we'll see you all on Monday, but I'll be back here tomorrow morning. Thank you.